When it comes to Indigenous characters, comics have a long history. Not all of it is good, but over time we've seen a shift in the comic book scene, focusing on uplifting our amazing Indigenous heroes. Marvel recently released their Indigenous Voices issue of their Marvel's Voices series in 2020, and even some prominent DC heroes in recent years have been reintroduced with more Indigenous roots. Welcome back, Nerd Squad. Join me as we go on a journey through diversity and take a look at some of our prominent Indigenous heroes from the comic book world, as we count down the top 10 Indigenous superheroes. And if you love this list like me and you want to hear even more about Aboriginal heroes, please let us know in the comments below, because there are definitely even more that I would love to tell you about. For now, let's get counting. Number 10, WYATT WINGFOOT. WYATT WINGFOOT is an ally of the Fantastic Four and a good friend and once longtime romantic partner of She-Hulk. WYATT doesn't have any superpowers, but that doesn't stop him from helping his heroic allies out from time to time. Honestly, he is one of my favorite ships for She-Hulk when it comes to the major loves of her life. I love WYATT WINGFOOT. WYATT is a member of the Kiwazi tribe and is also related to the Comanche tribe of the United States. WYATT was preparing to become the new chief of his tribe after the death of his grandfather, but instead met the Fantastic Four and was compelled to leave and go on adventures with them. Later on, when his tribe was in peril, he and She-Hulk would return to try and help them from having their land and their resources taken. Also, I'm just gonna apologize in advance for any of these tribe names that I say wrong. I did look them up and I did try really hard, so sorry if I still got any wrong. If there's any notes that you have for me in terms of pronunciation, I would love them in the comments. Number 9, Captain America. When did this happen? Well, it hasn't happened yet, but Joe Gomez is a new character just announced and set to appear alongside some other newly introduced local community heroes who took up the mantle and the shield. This new story will be revealed in the special series United States of Captain America. Joe Gomez himself is an Indigenous man and member of the Kickapoo tribe. He is a construction worker who uses his skills to help the members of his community at no charge. Joe's Captain America was created by Darcy Little Badger and David Cutler. He will make his first appearance in United States of Captain America issue number 3, which is set to release in early August. So make sure you check it out if you want to learn about all these cool new Captain Americas we're getting. I'm hyped. And friends, if you are loving this list as much as I am loving sharing it with you, please be sure to let us know by giving this video a thumbs up. It really does help us out here at the channel, so thank you for anyone that's done that. Number 8, Raven. From the Teen Titans, but also, instead of Prime Earth, belonging to Earth 1. This version of the character saw Raven reimagined as the daughter of a Navajo elder. Here, Raven is also a seer, and it is her visions that help to guide her to the Teen Titans. The Earth 1 version of Raven provides a really interesting reimagining of her character and gives us something unique, especially in regards to how she relates to her heritage and her family. While Raven of the Prime Earth continuity might shy away from her family ties, this version of Raven relies on them to give her wisdom and strength, and in a way also really celebrates them, which I love. Number 7, Red Wolf. Red Wolf is William Talltrees, who first appeared in Avengers issue 80. He is one of the heroes in Marvel history to have taken up the name of Red Wolf and fight with superhuman abilities and skill sets. Guided by the Cheyenne god of the hunt, known here as WYATT. William Talltrees, as the Red Wolf, has fought against the Super Skrull Kl'rt and for a time was a member of the Texas-based superhero team, the Rangers. And he's also fought alongside the Avengers and the Defenders. Number 6, Apache Chief. Apache Chief is such an iconic hero, I kinda had to include him, but he also has some major problems as well, so don't worry, we're gonna talk about that. Apache Chief first appeared in the Super Friends cartoon and was introduced as a hero who could change size at will by separating the words Anuk Shook. He came during a time when diversity was trending in comics, the 1970s, especially Aboriginal diversity. In fact, our next hero on this list is also a character from that time period. This is one of the characters that we started off with in terms of representation. Although it should be noted, WYATT WINGFOOT from Marvel first appeared actually in 1966. Where Apache Chief is problematic though is that you can tell his character likely wasn't very well researched. The magical words that he uses to activate his powers, Anuk Shook, likely sound familiar to most Canadians that are watching this. I mean, I'm Canadian and I immediately recognized Anuk Shook. for the name of the statue is associated with northern tribes that are meant to symbolize unity. Apache Chief, however, has his root in the Apache tribe, which are often associated with more southern regions in the States. So having him say Inukshuk doesn't really seem to make a lot of sense based on the region that he's supposed to be associated with. Apache Chief would later on appear in Young Justice, where we'd come to know a younger version of him and actually learn his real name, which was Tai Longshadow. This version of the character was skilled in the way of astral projection. So if you're wondering where we are with Apache Chief now, we have even a more modern version of the hero, which I think is a lot better. Number 5, Forge. Although I feel like it doesn't come up as often, Forge belongs to the Cheyenne and actually trained under a Cheyenne shaman known as Naze, gaining great mystical knowledge and power. However, after the Vietnam War, where he himself had served, Forge chose to turn away from the world of mysticism, focusing only on his talent with machinery and tech. His great mystical knowledge and skills would get used again later on in his life, but we'd only really come to know about them as readers after getting to know the character of Forge better. Forge is one of those characters that I really love for their diversity, because the diversity is there and it does get highlighted at times, but it's also quite effortless. He was created by Chris Claremont and John Romita Jr. Also, Chris Claremont gave us some pretty great characters. Can we just acknowledge? Pretty cool. Number 4, Dawnstar. Dawnstar is a cool hero whose background is a blend of indigenous origins and science fiction. She is an indigenous person, but from outer space! Hailing from another world known as Starhaven, initially her tribe, the Anasazi tribe, were abducted and brought to another world, the world of Starhaven. Once there, they were bioengineered to have wings that made them capable of interstellar flight without need for spaceships. Dawnstar is also a very skilled tracker, and this is actually her main superpower. She can track anyone in the cosmos, even from light years away. Dawnstar is a member of DC's Legion of Superheroes. So she's a superhero from the future. And from space. Number 3, Warpath. Warpath is connected to the Apache tribes and was born James Proudstar on one of their reservations located in Arizona. He and his older brother John were both mutants. John, in fact, ended up joining the X-Men but died on one of their missions, and this actually caused James to hate the X-Men and Professor X. Later on, he would join Emma Frost's Hellions instead, but eventually, Warpath would go on to become an X-Men himself. Warpath possesses various powers as the result of his mutant origins, including flight, superhuman strength, speed, and endurance. He is a skilled fighter and in more recent years has also been shown to have mystical abilities that were previously untapped. Number 2, EQUINOX. EQUINOX is a really cool Canadian hero who came from DC's Justice League United team. She belongs to the Cree tribe and in the future becomes a hero who is so well known that Dawnstar immediately recognized her and remarks that to her and many Aboriginal women that she knew, EQUINOX was actually an inspiration because, like I said, Dawnstar's from the future. Pretty neat stuff. EQUINOX is Miabin Martin, or Me for short, a teenage hero from Moose Factory Island, Ontario, whose powers are connected to the elements and change along with the seasons. And in case you're wondering if Moose Factory Island, Ontario is a real place, it is a real place. It's true. Number 1, Mirage, aka Danny Moonstar. Danny is also Cheyenne like Forge and Red Wolf, who came before her on this list. She is known for being a mutant and a member of the New Mutants in the comics. Her mutant ability allows her to connect with other people empathically and summon up illusions based on their greatest fears and desires. Initially, she could only really conjure images of a person's fears, but over time she was able to harness her ability to also summon illusions of their greatest desires as well, and then, even surpassing those skills, found herself able to conjure up neutral illusions from the minds of others that weren't attached to extreme emotional responses. Basically, she's now really good at going in your head and kind of knowing what you think and knowing what to pull out to manipulate you with illusions. Who are some of your favorite Indigenous superheroes? Is there a specific First Nations tribe that you would love to see get more representation in the comics? Are you interested in a part 2 to this list? Let us know in the comments below. And speaking of comments, it is time to turn to some comments from one of our latest videos, Top 10 Invincible Most Powerful Villains. Or most powerful villains from Invincible. Mr. Decency responds, evil marks from the multiverse, terrifying but amazing. That's definitely true. And so many evil marks. pretty much all of them are evil. Malamber shares, would love to see Amanda doing an Adam Eve cosplay. She's always so detailed in her costumes. Well, thank you so much. I definitely would love to do an Adam Eve cosplay. I'd also love to do a Monster Girl cosplay at some point. So it's definitely something I'd love to add to my wish list. Maybe I'll get to that later this year. Still working on my Scarlet Witch cosplay right now. And I think I have another Harley Quinn cosplay coming soon. NTG Nick Greer comments, I think Throg, Anissa, and Bulletproof are my most anticipated characters to see in season 2. Throg or Thrag, however you want to say that. And yeah, I feel like those are all pretty cool characters to pick up. I'm definitely really excited for Bulletproof to arrive, and things are gonna get crazy. Things are gonna get crazy when Throg and Anissa show up, so that should be interesting. And Conquest. I'm just excited for more Doc Seismic, personally. And that's all the time we have for comments today. Be sure to comment below for a chance to have your thoughts and feels shouted out in a future list. This has been Top 10 Nerd, and I am your host, Amanda McKnight, reminding you, as always, to stay nerdy, YouTube.